Hi and welcome to Serenity Cove Crafts. My name is Linda. Today we're going to make, look at this, look at that. Try to get it all in here. Now, what we're going to make, I know Easter's 1 week away. Oh my goodness, it's 1 week away, I think. And so, so this would be a good Easter gift, but not just for Easter, for anyone, like, you know, a little girl just carrying her little bunny. So basically we're doing like a little sleeping bag. Now this is the carrot. Okay. For the carrot, I used an orange. Okay. So this is just Bernat Premium. It's a acrylic number 4 weighted worsted yarn. Okay. So I use that for the carrot. Use whatever you have. Or whatever you can afford. I had this bright orange, so I used it. And now for the leaves, like these are like the carrot stems, the leaves. I'm using, for these ones here, I used Bernat Premium green. Okay. Now for these lines, I made lines on my carrot because a carrot kind of has these lines going like across. This is optional. I'll show you how to do this. If you don't want to do this part, go ahead, just leave it. And it also depends on who you're making it for. If you're making it for a little kid, you might not want something like this that they can get caught on. So that's just something to keep in mind. But for this, I use, it's almost like a cinnamon brown. This is called caramel, and it's Bernat Premium. And I just thought it was a nice contrast to the orange. Also, if you don't have a color like that, go with a beige. You notice some carrots, they almost look like the lines are green. So you can go with the green if you want. So, for this bunny, now this is knit all in one piece, except for the skirt. You'll see, look at the bunny, it's just one piece. Now the ears, of course, are separate. These we're making on any knitting machine. We'll be doing a little panel, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And you can use the same technique for making the ringlets. Now the ringlets I used, for these ones here, I actually made them on my knitting machine. I did panels and then curled them into ringlets. Now with these ones here, I used an I-cord maker. Okay. So I use this tulip I-cord maker. I love it. It uses most yarns. And if you go ahead and you just knit them up. So if you have an I-cord maker, I would say maybe we're going to knit maybe 6, a minimum of 6 on here. This one only has 4, but we'll go for 6. Add as few or as many as you want. Okay, my little doll. The skirt I did on my 46 pin Addi machine. So you're going to need a 46 Addi or a 48 Sentro, or the carrot. You can actually even make this with probably a 40 pin. So if you have a 40 pin, you can give that a try as well. Your carrot's just going to be a little thinner, but as you see, the doll fits in it. There's quite a bit of wiggle room. So if it's a little smaller, that's fine. Okay, I'm just going to move this aside. Now this bunny, I just used, I think this is called almond. I used this for this bunny. Now for the one we're making today, I wanted to show you that you can make a boy bunny as well. All right. So what I did is I knit the pieces, okay? This bunny we're going to be doing in brown, and this is some Bernat Premium brown, and I don't know the color. The wrapper's gone. We got a puppy. She's 6 months old now, and she helps herself to my craft supplies. So, and she likes to, when she gets a hold of them, she will chew the papers off. So that's fun. Plus she takes my craft supplies and she hides them in her crate. So I've got a crafty little girl too. All right. So now with the body, We did the 22 pin machine. I'm also going to make a skirt for this one, just to show you how to do the skirt. But I'm doing more masculine colors. So you cast on with the body color, which in my case is going to be brown for here. So I will refer to brown. So you cast on with the brown. These are going to be your shoes and legs. And that's 12 rows. Switch over to the, in my case, it will be blue. So this is going to be the sweater part. Okay, knit 10 rows of this. Switch back over to the brown. Now this is going to be, all the way up to here, is going to be like the inside or the outside. So we're just replicating everything at this end. So for the head and face part, we're doing 14 rows. Change back to the blue. Now the blue, we're just going back. We're doing 10 rows, just like we did up here. Change over to brown. Brown, these are the legs and feet. 12 rows. And then cast off. Now I do have a tutorial. If you just go look under my videos, I show you how to knit on a knitting machine, how to change colors, how to cast on, cast off, how to cinch your ends, how to mattress stitch. So go ahead, look all that up. The ringlets, I have a separate tutorial on just the ringlets. I'm going to show you how to do them on camera today, but I have a more in-depth tutorial that's already in my playlist. Okay, so then you cast off. So now we have this piece. Go ahead, stretch it. Stretch it all directions. Okay. Now where you changed colors here, you will notice it kind of looks like, actually let me just zoom in here. There you can see it. See right here, you can see where I changed the colors? Kind of looks like a little step. There and there. Now, you just want to be mindful that when you are actually sewing your rabbit together, you want to ensure that this part ends up in the back of the rabbit. This way it won't be as noticeable. Okay, so without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cinch and tie both ends. I'm just going to zoom back out. There we go. I'm going to thread the needle on one for the one tail end. Right. Okay, so now I'm just picking up these stitches. See them right there? I actually probably shouldn't have cinched right away. That's all right. Here we go. Okay. Now, you'll see this last row here. These are the stitches on it. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to pick up these stitches like so, just to reinforce them. I'm going to go from here all the way around. I'll do this one on camera with you. So my friends, it's been a couple months. Oh, it's crazy. I got to, let's see, since I've last spoken with you, I've had, I did a performance. I actually got to do a stand-up comedy act, and I got to face one of my biggest fears, which is standing up in front of people. And I got to live one of my dreams. I got to do about a 15-minute stand-up comedy number, and it was amazing. And the crowd laughed, and we had fun. I actually knitted some props for my show because I figured, well, I'm crafty, so we might as well incorporate that into the act. And we sure did. Okay, so I'm just pulling it tight. And now I'm just kind of going in, kind of going through here. What I want to do is just tie this off. So yes, I got to perform, and oh my God, I had fun. But it's really weird because I've been consumed with this for a couple of months, getting an act ready. And in the end, I ended up just pulling the act out of my tush. I just kind of like improv the whole thing. But, oh boy, all right. So I'm going to flip the other side. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close off this end off camera, and I will be right back. So I'm just back here. I just wanted to show you that the reason I actually don't double the work and then cinch them, A lot of people, that's how they double their work. They'll leave the tube open, and then they'll insert one end into the other, and then close both ends together. I tend to like to do it this way, because now it's strong. Both ends are securely knotted. We will be doubling the work, but a little child is going to have to pick real hard to get this one undone. So, okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and going to double my work. I'm just kind of picking this like this. Okay. All right. So now I've doubled my work, and then now I'm just going to secure the ends, just tie it off. When I'm working with a tube, I kind of like to roll it up a bit. Just makes it easier. Okay. I'm just going to take this in through, take it through the middle of the inner one. See that? Okay, whoops. I've got to fix this camera angle. It's sideways. Okay. Now normally you would hide the tail ends, but I'm not going to bother. This is going to be inside. No one's going to see it. It will get stuffed. All right. So I found where the back is. Right there, we get that little step. This is going to be the back. Now I'm just going to take a piece of this brown yarn and my needle. And in my case, my tail end was long enough that I was just able to use that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add a drawstring. Okay, let me just move this up here, and I'm just going to zoom in a little. I'm just going to add a drawstring. I'm going to add two of them. One will be here, where the blue meets the brown, and the other will be where the brown is. So I'm going to actually keep them brown in both cases. So I'm going to start off right over here. So I'm just going to start picking off. You pick up one stitch, you go over one. Pick up, go over, pick up. Okay, now when you pull this, I like to hold it with my thumb. If you're not careful, see, that's what happens. You have to start over. So, there we go. Hang on to that puppy over here. There we go. Right. So I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame. So yes, after a performance like the one that I had, I was the second last performer that night, and wow, my life was consumed with that performance for a couple of months. So I just want to try to explain how I feel. Do you know, like Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy goes into the Technicolor, vibrant background? Well, that's what my life was like for 8 weeks. And then now that the performing is over, I feel like I'm living in black and white again. Oh no! No, you don't have to feel sorry for me. But yeah, that's how it kind of feels. It's hard to get excited about anything now. So, I mean, yeah, that's why it's been a little long, taken a little while for me to get this tutorial up. I had this little critter made a couple weeks back, and I thought I have to get this. We need to get it up for you. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing with the top. And I'm starting. Where I start is I start where the back is. So I'm just going to keep this in. I'm just going to start here. The same place I picked up here. Okay, and like so. Pick up at the top, pull it through. All right. Okay, you go ahead. Finish doing yours, and I'll be right back, and we'll be stuffing. So I've got both of my drawstrings down here. Okay, and I'm just going to rearrange it, whoops, so that this ends the back. So I'm just going to fidget with the parts that are going to be the feet here. I kind of like to have like the even amount on either side of the center knot. Now I'm just going to take some stuff. This looks like dog hair. I went to, in Canada, we have a place called Len's Mills, and they had stuffing, and you just get a bag and you put all the stuffing you want in a bag. And one day they had this color stuffing, and I thought, well, that would be neat. So no, I'm not using dog fur. I'm stuffing with brown stuffing. Okay, so I'm not doing too much. I'm making sure the stuffing gets. Sorry, there's my blonde hair. I have my hair woven into it. Let's go ahead and thread the needle. So now what we're going to do is, I'll just show you my bunny here. Okay. So what I did is the shirt kind of ends here. And then what I did is I separated the legs pretty much all the way to almost where the shirt is. And then I formed the feet. And I'm going to show you how I did this. So we've got a little bit of stuffing. Just look. You can't, it's not much at all. See that? Just a tiny bit. This doesn't have stuffing at this end. This does. So it's not a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it to the back where my drawstrings are. And I'm just going to go right in the middle here. And I'm going to take my needle through. Right. Pull it. Oh, I have tape. Okay. All right. So what I'm just doing here is I'm just going in and out first. I just want to do that first stitch where I can tie it and secure it. And clearly I know not what I'm doing. Here we go. We'll try this again. All right. All right. I'm going to go through here. Okay. Let's try this again. All right. It's because these are a little confusing here. Just going to tuck those in. Okay. So I'm just bringing the yarn through, right? Leave a tail. Just going to go ahead and tie a nice knot. I'm going to secure this. Keep this tail, don't hide it yet. We will be using it. Okay, so now we're just kind of going to go back and forth a little bit. All right. And I'm just trying to stay on the same line. Okay. So now I just want to kind of, I want to take this here, and the back is still here. Okay. I'm just going to loop. Hang on. I'm just going to loop this around like that. See that? I'm going to turn her over. We're going to bring this puppy all the way up here, and we're going to tie it. And while you're tying it, try to keep the knot down here, not up here. So you just kind of hold it, tie, 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 tie. See? It's puckering. We want to get it to pucker down here. Okay. It's all right. Just going to tie it. And then we're still not done doing the legs, but let's see. Try to get them as straight as you can. I may need a tiny bit of stuffing in this side. All right. So now I am just basically, I'm just looping around. Hang on. Tuck this. Just going to tuck this one out of the way. There we go. Okay. So I'm in the back. I'm just going to loop this around the front. And I'm just going up to pretty much where I started. And I'm just looping around like that. I'm just looping and sewing. This will straighten out once we put stuffing in it. I'm looping it around again. Okay. Right. And then now I'm just going to just sew back and forth a little. Okay. All right, so now we're right. I'm right. Let's see. going to go up a little higher. I'm right here. So let's say about an inch, a little less than an inch from the bottom. So even go an inch from the bottom. I mean, that's fine. I am not precise with anything, so I kind of eyeball things usually. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and forth, sew a little. Just sew as much as I can until I feel like I have a definition between the legs. Okay. So now I'm just going to go back to this position here. We are going to take the end, there's the back, tuck this up here. We're going to take the end, we want to make the feet. We're just going to loop that around like so. Go ahead and with your needle, just going to tack that guy in place. We're going to pull, let's pull, 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 pull. There you go. See, now we're getting the little feet. Now, all I am, actually, just going to tie it to this. I mean, if you want, you could actually, tie it off and do every piece separately with its own separate yarn. But I figure if I can just thread it the once and do what I need to do. Okay, so there's the back. We got the one little foot. We're going to go around like this, turn this guy over, and then I'm going to get the needle to go in right about where I put the one on this side. Okay, go ahead. Let's hold that. Let's hold it with your fingers. I'm just guiding it in place. Okay, there we go. Hang on. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Alrighty. I think I like that. There we go. There we go. Look at that. See? Easy peasy. Okay, so we're going to tie this off. I'm actually going to tie it 3 times. Okay, move this over here. Okay, so now we just cut off the tail ends and thread your needle. Actually, I have a bigger one here that I like. All right. And I'm just going to hide the ends. Okay. Just go ahead under the work here and then just slide that through. Come out somewhere, anywhere. Go ahead, pull, snip. There we go. All right, so now we're going to add a little bit more stuffing to this part, well, to the rest of the body. Some people would only normally they would put their drawstrings on at the end. I like to do them as I'm going along. This way I can gauge if I'm going to need more stuffing. That's my preference. That's the way I do it. Okay, let's take these out here. Now, the drawstring here. Once you've got the amount of stuffing you want, and see, look, he's still flat, not too chunky. And let's see. So now we're just going to grab the ends from this, from this drawstring. Go ahead and grab them. We're going to tie once, pull it tight, pull it tight. I think I need a little bit more stuffing in here. Okay. And see, this is why I kind of do it this way, because it's not closed off yet. Okay, I'm not going to pull it too tight. Now I'm going to just give the neck a shape. I'm going to tie this like so. I'm looping around the neck like that. I just do that. It just adds a little bit of extra strength to this. I'm going to hide the tail ends. And then you're going to go get your blue, this color yarn. We have to do the arms. So right now. All right, we'll do this one at a time then. I have some yarn that's just unraveling here, so I'll just do one piece at a time. So hopefully you've been creative since last we spoke. Hey, You don't understand this. I'm having this conversation now, and it's as though I'm talking directly to you. So, that's how I wanted to do my tutorials. I always thought my girlfriends and I, we used to get together and do crafting in this little cafe. Paint, craft, whatever. And I just like to talk to you the way I'm talking to my friends when we're sitting there trying to figure something out. Okay, so now I just have to go here. I just have to grab the drawstring. Okay, so there's the drawstring for the head. Okay, so we got the body. We will do the arms momentarily. But right now we're going to take some stuffing. We're going to want to make sure that the head's stuffed really well. A little awkward stuffing it because this isn't a huge piece. And what I like to do is pull on this. I'm just going to tie it single to begin with. Okay. And I'm going to have to add some more. Right. Right. I think that should do it. I'll go ahead and pull that. Pull it. Push your stuffing in. And see, with this brown stuffing you don't see. But yeah, normally it's white stuffing. Okay. Pull tight. I'm going to tie this off. It's alright. It came undone a bit. I lost some of my tension. So I have a little hole in the top. No worries. We've got this. I'm just going to take the longest of the tail ends. Right? And I'm just going to use it. I'm just going to go across here to the other side of the hole and kind of just go across like that. And just kind of come on a different angle. Go around like so. Right. Now we can tie it off and hide the ends. Okay. Oh, one thing I did want to tell you. When you're doing, especially when you're working with a light color like this, for example, we need it all in one too. So the pink, right here, you can see it. I did not do it with this one. You want to, before you actually seal it up, you want to make sure that your tail ends here, you can see that through. You can see that a little bit, the pink. You want to kind of maneuver them, get them to go down. But in this case, I'll leave it. But, okay. All right, so there we go. So now I'm just going to grab the blue. This is a blue that almost looks like a denim. Sort of has a denim look to it. Right. Head, cut a piece. Thread your needle. I'm going to do the arms. So we're going to go the same way. So find the back. The way you'll be able to notice which one's the back. You'll see we have the knot at the back from that drawstring. The knot's back there. So that's your back. But you see, you don't really notice where the color changes took place because we went through with the needle and tied it around. So it's not noticeable. So we're going to start here. Now just determine where you think you're going to want your arm. So I go in 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe about 5 stitches, 4, 5. So I never measure. Let's just say here. Let's say this guy is 3 inches wide. We'll probably go in at about 1 inch. So going back to the back, about over here. Okay. Bring this through, like so. Now, so this. All right. Go this way. And then go all the way down. Find one of the rows Just follow it. I'm going right to where the blue ends. Go in here like this. Come out, try to come out on the line you made here, or the row you followed. Okay, so we got this for right now. Go ahead like so. Okay, go ahead and we'll tie this. So basically you just do your best to try to get the definition. See, I'm just going kind of back and forth. See? Just nothing complex whatsoever. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to go in one more time, like so. Now, if you're doing a little boy teddy bear, what you could always do, the wrist, just go around the wrist, and you can kind of cinch like this. And then if you wanted a little boy one, then you can just, see what we did with the feet, you could always just go like that and make a little hand. But I'm not going to make a hand because, for example, the skirt kind of goes right there where it ends. So they're really fast and simple to make if you don't talk as much as I do. Okay, so now I'm just going to go around like so, and come back to the back, just where the sleeve is here. There we go, see that? We got that. So this is the front. Pull it a bit. And we're doing the same thing. Just going back and forth a little. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take the needle. I'm just going to move it through here. And I'm just going to have it come out. See, this is the back here, so we're going to go about. Let's see. So about here. And you come out right about here. Okay. Okay, so there's the front right here. About like so. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way down here, across to here, pull, and now you're just going to try to get it as close to the other one as you can. Now this one here, I don't have the tail end to tie it to, so I'm just going to tie it like that. Get as tight as we can. Okay. Now I'm just looping around. I can get that. There we go. All right, I'll go back up here. Okay, so I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this and I want to tie it off, but my other tail end is over here. So that's all right. I'm just going to, let's see, just do it the one time. I'm just going to go in here where my last stitch was. I'm just going to pull it through here to meet up with this one, this tail end. Okay. And let's go ahead and tie this. And there we go. Now hide your ends. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to knit the ears. So get your knitting machine and some of the same color yarn, and I'll be back for that. All right, so I'm back. Let's see if I can zoom out here. Oh no, I'm as out as I can get. All right. So I made one of the ears. So what we're going to do is just knit a panel, and you'll see when you take the panel out, you'll notice it automatically wants to curl in on itself. Perfect. We'll use that to our advantage, and that part of the ear faces forward. Okay, so we'll grab some of your brown. And so here's my 22 pin. I'm just going to go to my first black pin. Now, on my machines, I just mark where my first pin is, just with like a Sharpie marker. That way I can see it coming around, very quickly without having to think much. It's not always easy thinking when you're crafting. Okay, I'm just going to, here, let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do, go ahead, drop a tail end into the middle. We're going to go under the first black pin. Turn it. Go behind this one. In front of this one. We're doing 5 stitches. So that's 3. Behind this one. And in front of the last one. That's number 5. Open up your carriage. Okay. Now I'm just going to keep going here until, let's see here. See this? I don't know if you can see what they look like. See what they look like? Yeah, they're like little hooks, these red things. And they're on either side of the needles. So what we do is 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going in this direction. Sorry, that direction. Until this yarn goes under this red bar. Turn, turn. It went under. So that's our cast on. Now we're going to go back in that direction. And I know these are a little difficult to make on my 22 pin Sentro because the Sentro is a finicky beast. So now we got the 5 pins, so 5 stitches. We're going to be doing 10 rows. So now we're going to start counting. We'll start counting actually. So I'm going to go in this direction. I'm holding on to the yarn here. This is my tension. That's my little silicone earplug. Just helps with the static. Okay. So now I'm going back this way. So this is, and the end one here. You just want to kind of make sure it doesn't come undone. And once the yarn goes under the bar, past this first pin. Now I can go back in that direction. So that now just counted. That was 1. Okay, so we're doing 10. It's going to come back in this direction. Now, this is where you just watch out. If you're going to have problems, it's usually with either the first or the last pin. Just make sure that hoop stays down. Okay. And we need to go until the yarn's under this bar. Okay. And there it goes. It's under the bar. Going back in that direction. Okay, so that was 1, 2. Okay, now I'm going back in this direction over here. Now this first one's probably going to want to slide up. You see that? See that? Right there. So what I'm just doing is just going to pull that down. I'll just tug at the tail end here. Make sure that stays down. And usually if you have problems, it's usually only for the first few rows. All right. So we're going back. So this is going to be row 4. See, the end one didn't give me a hard time. So that's 4. And just tuck that under. 5. Back in that direction. 6. 7. 8, 9, and there's our 10th row. We got to go under the bar here. And now I'm just going to cut a piece, not very long. I don't need a long tail end for this. I like to, let's see if we can zoom out here a bit. There we go. Just go ahead and thread the needle. I'm opening my little carriage door here, closing it. Now you'll notice your stitches are only on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins. So these are not stitches here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in that direction. We're just going to release the first one. Okay, my yarn's in my hand. I'm going to release this one because that one's not a stitch. My stitches are here. So once I come over here, it's kind of going to go like this. Just pull it over to the side. And now I'm just going to keep cranking in this direction. This is how we're casting off. Okay. Over to here. Now I'm still threaded. Now I start picking off these stitches. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. Now you're going to be using this technique for the ringlets. They're just going to be longer. Okay, so once you got it off the machine, we're going to take the one end that still has the needle on it. That would have been, there we go. Let's go like that. And I am just going to, so you're trying to make it, to shape it like an ear. I'm kind of cinching a little here. Up here, I'm cinching all the way. I want to give it that slightly pointed edge at the top. So once we've got this pulled tight, just go ahead. I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm just going to tie it twice here. All right, so now I'm just going to just sort of weave it in and out a little bit here, just to hide the tail end. Whoops, we'll go this way. So just remember, the open edge is the front of your ear. Go ahead, snip that, stretch it out. All right. Actually, in this case, this ended isn't as pointy as I want it, so I'll use this for the part that we sew to the head. And then I'm just going to try to redefine the pointiness of the ear. Okay, so I'm just going to try to pinch this in. There we go, that's more pointed. So what I did to that is I just kind of went in the side, kind of went over to the other side. And that's just tacking it in place. Okay. Let's go ahead and hide the ends again. All right. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to sew this onto the head. Right. So you just want to make sure, see, that's what I mean, they curl inwards. Just want to try to peak that, like shape it into a peak. A peak. Yeah, a peak. Okay. And then the bottom part, you're just going to want to spread out. I'll have to tuck that in. And I will tuck it in by grabbing it that way. Okay, just start sewing it on. Now what I did is I sewed one to either side of the center hole that you cinched up here. So I'm just going to there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to sew it to the head. Actually, I'm going to do it from behind. There we go. So you're just grabbing a couple stitches up here. Find the middle. I'm just kind of going through the ear, coming up this side while I'm holding on to it. Hang on. This little piece here is driving me nuts. Okay, there, take care of that. I'm just going to tuck it back in. It's not a very long tail to work with. Let's see if we can drag it through. Yes. There we go. So go back this way. Okay. So I'm just sewing back and forth. Just back and forth. Tail end. You just want to keep adjusting. Make sure that you're going where you want to go in regards to the placement of the ears. There we go. He's coming along. He's coming along. You just have to be gentle at the edges. And you want to make sure that you get all the way to the edge here. And then we're just going to maneuver that. There we go. Looks better. Just kind of go through again. Right. So you can see the blue underneath. That's what this is what I meant with tail ends. Just try to, before you sew it closed, take care of your tail ends. Alright, so just kind of come back this way. And I'm just sewing back over here until I get to this tail end. And then I'm just going to tie it off. There we go. So before I tie it, just want to make sure. That's not too bad. It's a little wonky. Okay, go ahead. Tie, tie, tie. Tie, tie. Hide the ends. Now if you wanted to, you could always, before you sew it up, you could always put safety eyes in. I usually use safety eyes, but I figured if this is going to be for a little kid for Easter, or if it's just going to be some child's best friend, we're going to want it to be the best little friend it can have. Okay. I have got to go and find. Okay, so for the eyes, I am going to attempt. Let's see here. Just grab some black. On this little girl here, I made blue eyes, and then I just used the pink for the mouth. This one I'm just going with black because I want it to be visible. I'm not even sure how it's going to work until we try it. So we'll just kind of go in here. So now to embroider the eyes, let's see here. Just decide where you want your eyes to go. I want one right about here. Let's see. Right about there. And just kind of positioning these like this, just so that I know some creature, just so that I can get my eyes in the right spot. Okay, so this one I think I have to go down a little like that. Okay. What do you think? I think that's pretty good. I'm just leaving that in here for right now. So I'm just going to kind of go in to embroider. You go in, you find an entry point. As you kind of go through the entry point, and this is where I'm going to want my eye right here. So you come out. There you go. So you come out, you pull the yarn, leave a tail, and then let's see with the eyes. I might do the eyes side to side, like so. Okay, so I'm going to go, these eyes are going to go this way, so they're up and down. So what I'm just doing is I'm zooming you in here a little, just so that you can see. So I went here, now I'm going to go over here. Now with so I'm just going like one row over. And one thing to keep in mind, when you're embroidering, you're always planning your next step. So before I even have this stitch completed, I'm planning where I need the needle to go next. So the other eye is going to be right here. Pull that out now. Okay. So then just go ahead, actually, I'll move it over one. Okay, and pull gentle, gentle. Don't pull too tight. You want to maintain this tail end. Okay, and then let's see. Go over one. And I'm going to go back over to this eye. I just want it to be a little bigger. I'm going under. And don't pull too tight or your stitches will buckle. Your sewing rather, your embroidery. So I'm going back here, coming out over this end here. I'm actually going one row down just to get them to look a little bigger. There we go. Now my exit strategy. So when I'm on my last stitch, I'm done with the eyes. I'm going to guide my needle through the head. I'm guiding the needle so that it comes out exactly where, see, in that exact hole where we entered. Okay. Pull this through, nice and gentle, nice and gentle. Take a look at the face. I think it's pretty good. If I didn't like it, I would easily be able to just pull it, take it apart, and start over. I'm just going to cut this down a bit. Now, what we're going to do is tie this off gentle, gentle. You don't want to pull at this and pucker this. Just going to go very gentle, tie a knot, just double knot. So, now grab your ends, thread them. And this hole that we came out of, we're going to go in that exact same hole again. And now we're just going to exit anywhere. Hold this. Don't pull too tight. See, I'm holding it like this so when I pulled here, it didn't bunch these up. So gentle, 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 gentle. I'm going to pull here, cut this. Now, tuck that in. Go. Okay. So now for the nose. I think I'm going to go with this. It's called Rose. I believe it's Bernat Premium. And it's just like a nice dusty rose. And if I can find the end of it. There we go. So we'll see how this works with this color. You can always do the nose in black as well. I'm going to zoom this way a little. There we go. Okay. Same thing applies when embroidering this. We're going in somewhere else, and I'm going to want my nose to be, let's see, right here in the middle. Try to find the center of the eyes. There we go. Yeah, I use these as stitch markers. It works for me. Okay, so I'm going to go in the side. I'm going to come out where I wanted to. Right. Oh, no, we don't. Going that way. Take a look here. Leave your tail end. I'm going to go down a couple rows and come back up where you went in. Okay. Like so. And we're just going to go in and out the same holes repeatedly. But that's, I only went over it twice. Okay, so I'm going to want this to, let's see here, go this way. I'm going to try coming out a little bit this way. I want the nose to be a little bigger on the top. All right, and I'm just going to go back here. Right, and then, say, come out here. All right, there we go. Cute little bunny nose. Okay, so my next stitch is going to kind of go down here, and I'm going to plan the mouth. And I'll do the mouth in the same color in this case. And if your stitches get too, you pull them too tight, just gently kind of release them. This guy here's driving me nuts. Yeah, fabric glue would probably tack him under. Okay, so to do the mouth, I'm going to want to come like this to here. Then I'm going to go to the middle because I'm going to want to make that a little line like that. Okay. Let's see. And you just guide. You guide the smile where you want it. I want it to be a smile. Let me move this up here, actually. Let's move that over. Okay. And you could even do the mouth smaller. You could do it to the side. Anything you want, my dear. Okay, so I'm going in here, and now I'm planning my exit. I'm going to be coming out the same place I went in over here. I'm holding this just so that I don't accidentally pull too tight. Okay. Now I think, and you just fidget around. There. Actually, yeah, that's pretty good. If I were to do them again, I think I would make the mouth a little smaller. But that is good. Now, if you're doing something like this, you may want to take, I know I have Eileen's Fabric Fusion, I believe it is. Just take some fabric glue. And with either a toothpick or the end of your needle, you just put a little bit of glue underneath this, and then just put it into position. And then it will, once it dries, it'll stay in place, if you want to do that. And so now we're just going to tie this end off. Gentle, gentle. I'm going to hide this end. And you know what? If you don't like what you've done, always undo it. You can always undo it. It's, you know, unless you're in kind of like last minute and you're trying to make these because you got a fair coming up in a market and you've got to go. And you're going to make them. There we go. Okay, yeah, this ear, I think this one I probably did about, I lost count on this one. So I think I ended up probably doing only about 8 stitches possibly. Or I could have done 12 on this one, or 10. I'm not sure, but that's fine. You have tack an ear down if you wanted to. So now I'm going, now if you were doing a little boy and you want to leave it as a boy, you're done your bunny. But I know a lot of you are going to want to put the skirt on. Okay, so I am doing a skirt on my 46 pin Sentro. This blue yarn on my 46 pin. So this is 20 rows, then cast off. And this is where we're at now. Give it a nice good stretch. I'm just cinching the ends a little bit here. So what we're going to do is we're going to double it. We're not tying it off. We're just going to double it. So this end here goes into this end. Like so. See, now you can see it's looking like a scrunchie. I actually sew the skirt to the body. Right. Just going to straighten this out. So I'm going to want this to be the outside. I've got both of my tail ends here, and I'm going to put this at the back. And you bring it up to where the little hands are. And at this point, you're going to pull them both tight, straighten them out, make sure it's nice and it's even and you don't have an edge that gets puckered on you. Okay, how's that? I've got it pretty much the way I want it. So I'm going to tie this sucker tight. Both tail ends, tight, tight, tight. Tie it a couple of times. Now, I'm just going to take the longest end. What I'm just going to do is tack. We're just going to tack the skirt onto the body. So they're basically just, just grabbing a couple of stitches over here. And a couple from here. We're not grabbing all the stitches. We're just tacking. Tacking as we're going along. Excuse me. It's really dry in this room. Right. Let's go ahead and tie this now. Tie, tie, tie. Tie this really tight. Ahead, hide these ends. Now I'm going to hide the ends just in somewhere that's blue. And snip. And then when you let it go, your ends are hidden. All right. So that's how that's made. There we go. Okay, so we got the bunnies done. Now we're going to do the carrot. Now for the carrot, I use my 46-pin Sentro machine. Grab the carrot here. So what we do is you're just basically knitting a tube. We're cinching and closing one end of the tube. The other end, we have to close it. So what I basically did, okay, so I cast on my 46 pin. Now I cast on with waste yarn. I did that so that I can easily close the end. So this is waste yarn. So basically you take a contrasting color. See the difference in those two colors? I can really spot those stitches. Okay. So you're going to cast on with, say if you're doing orange, I'd say like maybe white, something really contrasting. And you're going to knit, I don't know, I think I did about 8 rows. And then you're going to switch over. You're going to cut this off. You're going to put it into the middle of the machine. I think so. It'll be in the middle of the machine. And then you grab some of your orange, an orange tail end, and then you cast on with that. So then you change to the orange. And at this point, this is where you're going to your counter on your machine. And then that's where the counting starts from. So once you change to the orange on the one end, and I do the cast on end as the end I choose to do for the waste yarn because it doesn't unravel. It's not going to unravel on me. When it's this end, it can unravel. So I'm making it work for me. Okay, so we did 90 rows, then you cast off. You cast off normally. See that? Okay. Let's go ahead and take it off the machine. So you did 90 rows. Now this end here that doesn't have the waste yarn, this end we are going to cinch it. Cinch, cinch, cinch. Right. Now with this, we're just doing what we did with the bunny. end row here, and I'm just going to reinforce the ends by picking up the stitches. We did this already. So just go ahead, anytime you need to, pause the machine, rewind, play, pause, rewind, play, pause, rewind. That's how I learn. So go ahead, do whatever makes it easier for you. I've gotten back around to where I started. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to cinch this, cinch it closed. So you can flip your carrot like that, have it up like that. But I try to keep my ringlets to this side, and so up this way. So we're just going to tie this off. So, okay, I'm just hiding the ends here, just inside. Just go ahead, hide that. It goes in between, into the center of the tube here. Go ahead, cut that. I keep all of my tail ends. They're great to use for stuffing, and it's a great recycling tip. This way, your project lives on in something else. So it's great. Okay, so we got the one end here. Like so. Now for this end, we're going to close it. Anyone who follows my channel knows I'm terrified of crochet hooks. I hate them. I can't make them work. But this one here, I actually crocheted. I used this to close the end, and see, look, it looks really neat. So it does look neater if you're doing it with the crochet hook. I will not be doing it that way. I will be showing you the alternative way of closing a tube. Now, if you were doing it with a crochet hook, I used the 46 pin Sentro. So divide that in half. So that's 23. So 23 pins is half of 46. So if you were using the crochet hook, you would start right here, and then you would just start counting. Okay, I'm going to this very first stitch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how easy it is when you can see them? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So there's 23. So I would take my crochet hook, go into 24. Like so. And then I would grab the one next to it. Yeah. And I am not a crochet person. And then you're basically going like that. Okay. You would just be doing that all the way through till you get to the end, and then you'd be able to tie it off. That's how it's normally done. I'm not going to do it that way. All right. So I just grabbed the orange tail end, and I did not leave it long enough. So you're supposed to leave it longer than this. So this is the beginning. Just going to line them up like so. Right. So this is the first one. So I'm just going to kind of go in here. So grab this first one and directly across, grab this stitch. Pull it, and I'm going into the next one. This, and then the one next to that. I'm so bad for doing this, for not leaving my tail end long enough. That's all right. Okay, so we're going like this. See that? That's a non-scary way of doing it. I mean, yes, I do think it looks better with the crochet hook, but I mean, this is another way to achieve it. There's like, I'm not a crocheter. I don't ever intend on learning. I've tried learning in the past, but for some reason I just can't grasp that. So I just I had to figure something out, how to close an end without a crochet hook, and I figured this out, and I'm just showing that to you right now. See how easy that is? Look. Now this is probably your toughest part of the project that you have to do. Like I said, it would have been better had I left myself a long enough tail. Okay. But that's okay. I'm just going to grab some more orange here. Okay, so I just wanted to show you here. Now, because I did not leave this long enough, I'm just cutting another piece of orange yarn. Okay, this last stitch that I went through, there's the tail end. I'm just going to go right in there. I'm following the direction I went into. So the yarn goes here and under. I'm just going to do that. Pull this. Grab this tail end. I'm going to tie this tail end to this one. Okay. And now I have a longer piece. These ones I'm just going to tuck inside. So there is a way. Don't panic if you didn't leave yourself long enough of a tail. That's how you would fix it. That's one way to fix it. I mean, there are so many ways to do things, but... Okay, so now I'm carrying on again. And you want to make sure you didn't miss any stitches. See, isn't that easy? It takes the fear out of using a crochet hook, because personally I get the heebie-jeebies when I think I have to use a crochet hook, because it's just not a tool I'm comfortable with. Okay. Over here, almost done. And when you're getting close to the end, you just want to make sure that you catch everything. Okay, and I know there's two here. Grab this one and scoot into there, and there we go. Look, we made it. Okay. I'm not tying this off yet. I want to take off I'm just going to remove this waste yarn. Now when it's the cast on edge, you need to undo the first row. So you take your tail end, then you find that first row. Right? And we're just going to pull this out. That first row. At first, if this is so unfamiliar to you, you know what? Just do a couple at a time. Little by little like that. And you'll be able to tell. If you pull on the one that isn't this won't move. So you're good. Just keep going like this. At first, because I've done this so many times, I can, grab a whole bunch at a time. But at first, it's like anything else. You're learning. Forgive yourself. Go easy on yourself. You have permission to suck. You do. It's okay. I suck at a lot of things, but I still try. I still keep trying. Okay, so I'm going right back over to right here. There we go. Okay. Right there. Okay, and now they will unravel. But look, okay, hang on. I'm just going to cut this. There we go. Okay, now see, the end is nicer when you crochet it, but we still were able to do it. Okay, just trying to lie this flat, because my tube is twisted a bit. I'm just trying to, there we go. So now I'll be able to pull this just a little bit. Okay. going to tie this end off. Okay. So we got past the hardest part. And the ringlets, they're not hard. And you know what you did, my friend? When you did the ear, you made a panel. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So that's how I learned I started to learn how to make panels. Oops, just doing the ringlets. And because it's not intimidating. So what I'm going to do now, I'll just give you a little measurement here. Now from the top all the way down, we're about 18 inches. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the bottom, okay, on my pull focus, and we're just going to fold it. I did not like measure or count. I just kind of went up, wanted enough room to tuck the doll in. Okay. So I would say, just go a little more. So I would say you're going to turn it up. This is probably about 5-6 inches. 6 inches. So about 6 inches. We'll turn it up. Okay. Right. So now we are going to sew the sides. Now the sides, you're just going to be mattress stitching. And I know, those of you that are new, you just heard me say, oh, you're just going to be doing mattress stitching. Well, I'm telling you, when I first learned mattress stitching, it just drove me nuts. I'm not good at it. I was not good at it, but I've learned. I've learned over the years. Okay, so let me just grab the end piece of this. So I'm just grabbing some more orange. Okay. All right. What we're going to do now, I'm just going to hold that in place just so it doesn't wobble around on me. I mean, you could even like, there we go. And then this end over here. So you're going to take a long piece of yarn and we're going to mattress stitch. So we're not going to start right here at the first one. We just start down here. So what we're just doing is here. I'm grabbing a couple stitches from the one side, pull the tail end. I'm actually going to tuck this inside. Okay, so we got 2 stitches on one side, and then now I'm going to grab 2 stitches next to it. And once you start a row, make sure you stay on the same row. All right, so grab a couple stitches here. And then a couple over here. It tends to want to. It twists outward. So I'm just trying to make sure that I just adjust it as I'm going. There we go. I don't have very much room in this. This is a very small table that I have. It's only about 18 inches deep. So I'm banging into my lamp, my video camera. Okay, just keep going. Okay, Keep going to the end. I will meet you when we get here. I'm at the last 2 stitches here. I'm just going to pull them through. It's way too long. Okay. Now, for the mattress stitching, this is where the magic happens. You take this tail end, and then we grab this tail end right here, and we pull. And there you go. Look at that. Nice, huh? Takes a while. It takes a while to... And patience. First you just go real slow. I hated mattress stitching when I first learned. So what I'm just doing now is I just want to close this. Tie it off. I'm going to tie off each end. My puppy's outside the door. Alright, so we've got these ends here finished off. Sides are sewn. Okay, so now I'm going to do these little lines on the carrot. This totally optional, completely. So I'm going to be doing it all over the back and on the flap and downwards. Okay. So I'm just going to, let's go in here and start somewhere. I think my piece of, okay, so you're just going to go in. Okay, so I'm going to want this to start here. Okay. Leave a tail. Just going to try to tuck this over here. Okay, and with this, I just did them all various lengths. Okay. So, for example, this one will be about this long. So I should remember, we're always planning the next stitch. So this line will end here. Just kind of going in between the 2 layers. Just kind of come up here, and I'm coming out somewhere else where I want my next line to start. So we're just going to do this again. I think I'm going to want to... And so that's all there is to that. So I'm coming in here now, and let's see, start the next row right about here. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. Leave it out if you don't like this step. This one's going to be a little longer, like so. And you don't even have to stay on the same row. I mean, just get as straight as you can. Nothing is really straight like this in nature, so it's all right. I'm going to go further. And this one here. Okay. Like such. So now I'm just going to be circling around to working my way to the back. Go through like this. There we go. All right. Okay, go like that, like so. And if you pull too tight, you'll end up puckering things. That's what I just did. Yeah, there we go. Hang on. There we go. That one's crooked. That's okay. That's nature. Right, actually, I have to go out. I did not plan my next move here. There we go. My God. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah. It's nice to have a long yarn tail, but it can become a hindrance at times. There we go. Right. Let's see. Heading up this way. And I just actually need to make sure I didn't go through. Okay. See, it felt to me like I was going through all the layers. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't. Because if you do, then it's going to sew your piece closed. And it would defeat the purpose. There we go. Right. Okay. So you keep doing this. Keep going all the way to the back. For the back, you know, I kind of stopped a couple inches. Say maybe about 3 inches from the top. Oh, there we go. So I stopped about 3 inches from the top on the outside back. Okay, so go ahead and I will meet you when I'm at that point. All right, so I'm over at the top here. Now before I make my last line, just wanted to show you. Okay, this is my last line here. Going in here, I'm going in between. See that? I'm going in between. And I'm coming out over here where that entry point was. Oops, I'm not quite there. There we go. So guide your last stitch. All right. There we go. Tie it off. Nice and gentle. There we go. I know when I used to purchase patterns, I would when I first started out, I would purchase patterns, and not having a knitting and crochet background, I struggled. So this is why I like to do video tutorials. And if you ever head over to Serenity Cove Crafts in my Etsy shop, when I sell a pattern, and it's not going to be any of the patterns you see here on YouTube, but when I sell a pattern, they're large projects. They could take several hours to make. They could be more complex, but I also give you a video tutorial to go with the written instructions, because I learned that way. I learned by reading and by watching. I need a combination of the two. So that's how I did this. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do the ringlets. I already have, let's see, I've got 4 that I've made up already. Okay. Now this is one that I made with an I-cord maker, and just cut one end a little shorter. And I don't measure. Honestly, I go anywhere up from like about 13 inches to 24 inches because I like them to be different sizes. Some are shorter, some are longer, and that is what I like. And I don't count. I just knit until it looks long enough, and then I cut it. Then you got to remember, it's actually going to be smaller because we're going to be twisting it. So once you have your I-cord, grab the end with the longer piece of tail, long piece of tail, well, tail end. Grab it, hold on tight. We're going for a ride here. Okay, so we're going to start with this side, this part in this hand. We're going to start twisting. See that? Twist, twist. It's not very noticeable on the I-cord one, but you will see when we do the next one on the knitting machine. You'll be able to see when you're twisting it. So I don't know, I probably twist maybe around 20 times. I'm not sure. Hang on tight. More often than not, when you're twisting like this, that will pop off. And then you have to start over. So I just did that deliberately to show you. Hopefully I don't do it throughout the whole video. My goodness. Okay. And I have rotator cuff tears in both my shoulders, so trying to twist. Okay, good. And you're moving further and further down here as you're twisting. Twist, keep twisting. Twist all the way to the end. We're going to join these two ends. Hold on to the both tail ends with one hand. Pull this straight out. Let it go. Boing, there we go. So we have a ringlet. I'm going to tie this. Going to, the more you twist, the tighter it will be. See, I could have twisted a little more at the end, but it looks great. I know we are our own worst critics. We see all of our mistakes. We don't see the beauty in what we create. Okay, just hide this tail end. There we go. Now the next one, if you don't have an I-cord maker, you use your knitting machine. So it's the same way. It's the same way that we did the ears. So we're going to go back to the beginning here. We are going to cast on 5 needles. We're casting on the exact same way. Okay? Behind the first black pin. Sorry, in front of the first black pin. In front and then behind. In front, behind, in front. So there's the 5 rows. This stitch is not cast on until the yarn goes under this bar. Like so. Now I'm going in the other direction. Okay, and then back this way. Tug at the tail end every once in a while. Okay, that's the first pin, going back in that direction. Going back. Like so. And then back. Okay, so I keep going. I'll give you an idea of how far I go. When I come back, I'll measure it for you. I just keep going until it's way past the table. Okay? So until it comes this length, all the way down to the table, and then it curls outwards. And that's about when I take it off the machine. So I'm going to keep back and forth. I'm going to keep doing this until I get it as long as I want, and I will be back to show you how we assemble that. Let's pop on quickly just to show you. Just keep tugging at the tail end, and you will see. You'll start to see that, look, it is forming kind of like an I-cord shape once we pull that. So keep going, and I'll see you on the other. Okay, so I'm working on my last row here. Now, I personally, it's probably OCD, I always want my piece to be on this end. So I'm doing my last row here. There we go. That has to go under the bar. Perfect. Stop. Cut a tail end. And I go ahead thread your needle. You've got this. Can't believe how confident I sound when I first started. No, I did not understand anything. But I figured it out. The older I'm getting, the more creative I get. Okay, so now we've just kind of released the empty stitches. Now you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I still have my 5 stitches. I like to count when I'm knitting. Every once in a while, I want to make sure that I have the 5. It's easy, really, really easy to accidentally go too far and cast on extra stitches. So then it'll get wider at one end. Okay, so I've released all of these. Now I'm, over here, just moving my yarn over, and I'm cranking in that direction just to release the stitches. And there we go. I like to put my finger or thumb on the next stitch just so that they don't pop off on me. If they pop off, I've dropped my stitches. See? And I can be a little rough sometimes. When I get impatient, I can be a little not so nice on the thread, not so on the yarn, my project, a little rough. There we go. Now we've cast off. Okay, so look at this. Pull, pull, pull until you feel that this has come out. Like it's kind of it's hard to explain. It kind of pops out a little. See? So now I'm going to keep the longer end, the shorter end. Now, when we use this one here, when we use the I-cord machine, you don't have to knot the end off because this is really tight. It's not coming undone. This you will have to. You'll have to tie the end. Okay, just making a knot here. Okay. And this end here, I'm just cutting short. Just cut it short so it doesn't wrap around your wrist and get all twisted. Okay. All right. Grab one end tight, like this. See? With knitting it on the machine, look, you can actually see. See that? You can see the twists. So I like doing it on the machine for that reason, because I do like to be able to get a real good twist in, and it's hard to spot it on the other one, on the I-cord one. That's all right. Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Join the ends. Pull that out. Let it go. Boing. Sound effect is necessary. My sound effect was too late, though. All right. I'm just going to hide this one. So for this, we're just kind of going in and out here. Because this is a panel, so it's not double thickness like a tube, although it is kind of rolled up on itself. There we go. So I'm just going to hide this end that I just tied off. There we go. Hi, sorry about that. I had technical problems, and this last bit that I recorded didn't get recorded. Oh no. Okay, so if I believe the last thing that actually did record was me showing you how to do this on a knitting machine. Now the part that cut out was me showing you how to sew them on. So basically you just take your end piece. At one end, there'll be one tail end, okay? So you'll take the one tail end, and I'm trying to sew them, so I tried to sew them towards the front here. So you have the one end, you have the tail end. You kind of insert it through a couple of stitches in the hat, and then you pull it through, and then you circle around, and you go through both layers. See, both layers of your I-cord. Come out the other end, go under the stitches, go through again, do that a couple of times. Tie it off into a knot. Hide your tail ends either inside the orange of the carrot or inside the I-cord. Okay, like the green itself. Okay. So, unfortunately, we did lose that video footage, but that is how you would do that. Now, with this little guy, I wanted to show him, demonstrate it with a skirt. So that's why I made the skirt. I took the skirt off because I wanted this one to be a little dude. Okay? And there you go. Now, what you can do, as you can always, just grab this one here. You can always put two bunnies in a pouch. If they both have skirts, then you're going to have trouble fitting two of them in. But there we go. And there they are. They're tucked in bed. Look at that. Oh, well, my friend, my God, I can't believe our time's come to an end. And I hope you go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe so you get notified and notification, and go ahead and share this tutorial. Share it around. I love it. I love it. So my friends, until next time, please be well and take care.